Well, today's going to be a little bit different, at least for the video side of things, because it's a pure work day for me. And what I'm going to do today basically is start breaking these things down into sizes and chunks that I can lift to get into the trailer. And then if I can split them here, I'll split them here. If not, we'll go to the hydraulic splitter we have out in the woodshed. And I'm getting older, so I have to concede that that's actually an option for me. But also, this is just a continuation of using this 575 saw, you know, the bottom of the barrel for Husqvarna. Actually, this one started out as a 570 that I put a 575 top end on. I want to see if I can find another one and put an aftermarket top end on it and just see how long it lasts. Because I'm liking the saw. The characteristics I like about that saw are it has decent power and it's smooth. And now that it's broke in, it's pretty fuel efficient too, which is a surprise. Shouldn't be, but it is. Because I've run these in the past in the 5.76s after I've modified them where they're real hogs. This one is actually not being a hog. So what I'm going to do is fire it up first after I got to put a bar and chain on it, and start keeping track of the actual fuel usage in terms of time, how long between tankfuls. Now obviously some of that's idling and some of that's cutting, but start getting an idea of the true performance of this saw. Not cookie cuts, but actual performance, you know, amount of money spent versus work produced, because that's really what matters. And I think this fall we're kind of getting into the season again. You know, I've been doing stuff pretty much on and off, and actually the last thing this saw did, and I have to touch up this bar. We have a septic issue at a friend's place that I have to solve, or at least be a part of solving. And the interesting thing was that there was a tree on top of the tank, so we couldn't get to the tank to pump it because there was a tree on top of it. So had to take the tree down. I've got no video of this, and it's probably just as well, but I had to fold it up like a lawn chair to get it down in the tight space we had so it wouldn't hit a house and wires, and we were successful in doing that. But then I had to get the stump out of there and ended up using this 25-inch bar and this poor chain, which I sharpened about 5 times because every time it got stuck in the sand, it went dull pretty quick. It's pretty ruined now. And we eventually got that stump completely up and out, and I had to clean the saw. Actually, I used the 565 in that operation. Had to completely clean the saw because there was so much sand and stuff in and around the saw. Made me kind of nervous. I don't like doing that to saws. And the bar is beginning, I think, because of that operation, to show, you know, signs of wanting to build a burr. So I wanted to dress the bar just a little bit today before I put it on here, and then go over here and start doing firewood with it. So, by the way, this stuff works pretty good. People ask me what I use for bar oil. The Kawasaki brand is sold through CNY, and I think it works pretty well. I might run this bar today. This is a 28 instead of the 24. You know, I need to use these up. I got like 3 of them. Here's another one right here. And the anomaly on these bars is it's a 63 slot, not 063 in width. So it's hard to find chains for them. But I used them, I don't know, a couple years back, and I mean, it's a good bar. these X-Tough bars that I'm using now, I think are better. And part of it is I think they're a stronger tip on these X-Toughs than the Oregon-based Husqvarna brand. These are made in Canada, and these are made, I believe, in Sweden. But I've kind of gone to this bar as my standard bar for doing real work. But I still have a few Oregons around. I got to use up. Now, in terms of bar length, you know, I've kind of settled on the 28s for felling, and I've told you why a bunch of times. It has to do with the size of the trees and me not wanting to work from two sides. But a really good compromise for me are the 24s. This particular bar right here is a real good compromise, especially for what we're doing today, because when I'm noodling, I want to be able to reach through to the other side. It's safer, and I always cut about, I don't know, 18 to 20 inches. So a 20-inch bar sometimes is just a little shy when you figure in the bucking spikes, but the 24s are right about what I need for that size of a log. And I might use the 28 just simply because I want to use up the bar. start with.
I'll go on.
One day at a time.
One day at a time, that's it. Well, we're doing them to doing some surveying work first. Richard, are you well?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sucked every drop out of that tank. Then in terms of fuel usage, it went through 1 tank of gas and pretty much exactly 1 tank of bar oil. That's what you're looking for. Well, one reason you see some of the stumps that are kind of long, where I don't hit them right by the ground, and that's because some of them have these things in them. They're called taps, and that can ruin a chainsaw chain like it did mine, or a bandsaw blade as fast as anything. So one of your clues that you got tapped wood is you start seeing things like that, and that means it's been a maple syrup tree and has been tapped, and chances are you start cutting, you're going to find some. Chances are you'll see some left in there like that that'll ruin your blade. So there's a few over here that were tapped. So in that situation, if I think I've got a tapped tree, you know, then you can put your face cut, bore cut, back cut anywhere you think there's no taps. And that could be waist high, that could be right to the ground. But you don't want to be in them. They make a mess. That's steel. So this is that Big Dog Stout several years later, and got quite a few years on it now. And it gets run pretty hard. It gets a pretty tough life, and still keeps going. The only problem I have now is the tires leak air, so I have to go get them sorted out somehow. I'm not sure where there's leaking from, but it's coming out of the rim or something. It's not the tire. There's no holes in the tire. It's just, oh wait a minute, maybe there is. I don't know. No nail. But starts, runs, cuts. Change the oil. I changed the belt once when I got it all wrapped up and broke the belt. But have to change the blades a little more frequently than I would have thought, partly because of what I'm cutting. And yet again, I did a video years back changing the blades with that very same impact driver from Harbor Freight. So here we go again, same game. And these blades, for whatever reason, just don't cut well. I'll pull them out and put in the standard size blades, more of a standard configuration, and see if that does a better job.